Hey YouTubers, I Raven Starfire. So tonight we'll be talking about The Flash.
It's back! No more hiatuses!
Yeah, that's stupid.
I mean, there aren't anymore, so good.
Good, cause they stupid for doing it.
They are.
Seriously.
And I can't handle another hiatus because Barry and Iris, oh my gosh! I mean, I know nothing happened yet, but it's getting closer. And I'm so excited. Like,
Me too.
beyond excited. I can't contain my happiness.
Me neither. So, what did you like about the episode?
For some reason, I thought it was gonna be like all about Hunter Zolomon or whatever.
Like.
I thought it was just gonna strictly be his backstory. So like, I didn't know how well I was actually gonna like the episode. But I liked it a lot. I did. I even though he's like a bad guy, I enjoyed learning about it because, you know, every time you get to learn backstory about a character, it's always nice because it helps you to know why they became the way they did.
Yeah.
And, you know, we learned that. So, and we learned that him and Barry did have a similar childhood with what happened with their parents.
Yeah. Except for that, like...
Except for Barry's dad actually didn't kill his mom.
Exactly.
So. And
Barry's dad wasn't fighting in a war.
Yeah. And the reason that Barry didn't become like he did was also because of the people he had around him.
Yep.
Like Iris.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe.
Yeah. What I found interesting was that he got the helmet from his father. Like, the helmet on the police wall on Earth 2 wasn't just because of Jay Garrick.
Yeah.
It was because that's what they wore when they went to war. Like, that was their outfits. Which is pretty cool. And, he runs around dressing like they did for war when he was a little boy. Like, the red suit and the helmet. So, I guess it's kind of cool that he harkens back to that. But, yeah, I don't know how I feel about him teaming up with himself.
That's weird.
Yeah, like, which version of him died?
I don't know.
Because, technically speaking, since it's in the same universe as Legends of Tomorrow, that's the name, right?
Yeah.
I get the name mixed up.
DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
In the preview for the show, during a commercial for The Flash tonight, we saw that, Rip was talking to, I was going to call him Hunter, but Hunter Zolomon get confused, so I had to think of his first name. Because his name is Rip Hunter.
Interesting. Where'd the Zolomon come from?
So, Rip was saying to the group that if you die in the present, or wherever they are in the future, whatever, then
you die.
Then you die in the past.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, okay then. Does that mean that it was the future version of him that died, or the past version? Because if it was the past, then he wouldn't be alive right now. So which version of himself did he kill? Was it a future version? Because it couldn't have been too far in the future, because they don't look... I mean, because they're similar, because it's the same actor. But, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Which version of himself died? And, I mean, really, like, I don't know.
Well, somebody was saying that, like, they didn't...
I don't fully believe what he was
Yeah,
saying.
they fully didn't get the, like, believe that story or the whole backstory stuff. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I do believe that... Well, I don't know. Because, like... In order for in order for Solomon to stop beating on Barry,
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin, like, begged with him and said, if any part of what we had was real,
If there's
any
any
part of
humanity
humanity
left
in
in you,
then you will let
him
him live.
go.
And I'm like, okay. And then he let him go, and I'm like, so does that mean that he himself spent time with Caitlin, and therefore if he spent time with Caitlin to the point where he cared for her that much, then, and to the point where when she said, "You're a monster," that he flashed to his mother, then it's like, how could the doppelganger of him, the version that we knew as Jay Garrick, not be coinciding with him, like, on his side, tricking them, because he wouldn't have played along.
Yeah.
And the only way for the Hunter Zolomon version to the Zoom version to have been that close to Caitlin was that the Jay Garrick version played along. But at the same time, I kind of want to believe that he might have been, like, blackmailed into it or something, and, like, he didn't want to do it, but he was forced to do it. Like, maybe the guy in the mask, even though I believe that it's him, it could be his father from an alternate universe, and it was really Jay Garrick's dad.
Well,
And
he did say, he's like,
you wouldn't believe
you
me.
wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Mm-hmm. So, like, what if it was really Hunter Zolomon's father or something, like, because he knew the tapping code. It was a code, and
Yeah.
you would know that if you were in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And Hunter's dad was military.
Yeah.
So what if that's Hunter's dad from another universe, and that Jay Garrick was blackmailed into helping him because he wanted to save his dad? And he couldn't because he wasn't fast enough to beat Hunter.
That's a very, very good theory. And you actually could be right.
I kind of hope I am, but then at the same time that means that he died. But still! Like,
Well, there probably is going to be a big character that's going to die at the end of the season.
you know who my vote is for, but...
People are thinking it's going to be Henry, not Joe.
Killing Henry is like doing what they did to Laurel. It has no impact on the story.
Well, it would have an impact for Barry.
Yeah. Okay, I feel sorry that my dad's dead. A dad that's been in jail my entire life, who I have no real connection with.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's gonna feel down in the dumps and be depressed for like 3 episodes.
No, it probably is going to be somebody else.
You know, like, there's
Yeah.
only gonna affect like 2 or 3 episodes. And then it'd be like, yeah, eventually he'll have moments where he thinks of his dad and gets all depressed and down and sad and everything. But, like, that's all it's gonna do. It's not gonna affect anyone else. Like, Iris wasn't close to his dad. Joe knew his dad because because Iris and Barry were friends. So there was no real close connection there either.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that Joe took him in because he was friends with Iris.
Yeah.
And he came over a lot and probably played with them a lot or her a lot. And so
No, you're
Joe
right.
knew
It
him.
wouldn't really have that much of an effect.
Yeah, it'd be like what they do with Laurel. Like, it doesn't affect any... The plot, the story is not affected by it.
Yeah.
It's a cop-out. If you're going to kill someone, then it
It
has
should either
to-
be Jay or Joe.
Jay's already dead.
Yeah. But
I mean, if you're going to... I mean, okay. Either depower or kill Zoom. Or kill Joe. Or kill Will's daughter.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
No, I think that...
I think it's either gonna be Joe or it's gonna have something to do with Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to either kill Zoom or, like, take away his connection to the Speed Force.
Yeah.
Which would eventually kill him anyway. So they have to do that by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Unless they're planning on Zoom being, like, the ultimate bad guy for season 3 as well.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing for next season.
So...
But somebody said it should be by episode 20 that he has his speed back, because, like, the director that did that episode was, like, describing a scene on a podcast or something, and according to what he was describing, he did have it. So it should be around that episode. So he'll probably only be without it for next week's episode.
Probably at the very end he'll get it back, because it's called Back to Normal.
Yeah.
So...
Which is actually gonna be kind of interesting, because, you know, we haven't seen him like that since the first episode.
Well, no, he's been depowered in the middle of last season.
But it hasn't been for that long of a time, though, right? Like, was it just like part of the episode?
No, I think it was an episode and a half.
Oh.
Because he lost it midway through that episode, the first episode, not the first episode, but the episode.
Which episode was it in the first season?
I don't know. But
so many episodes have happened already.
It was in the first half.
Okay.
Because...
Oh, was it like episode 7 where that, like, thing did that and he gained his speed back?
Mm-hmm.
And it showed, like, the lightning in his eyes? Yeah. That wasn't, like, an episode and a half. That was, like, just that episode.
No. He... If it wasn't an episode and, like... What I mean by an episode and a half is, like, it happened, like... Say he lost it in episode 7. In the middle or at the end, he got it back in 8.
Well, 8 was the crossover.
But I'm you know, just if it was 7, then 8 was 6, then 7 was when...
No, I
don't know.
Saying.
But, I mean, I was just using those numbers as an example.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, I mean, I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't just lose them at the very end of tonight's episode and gets them back next week's episode. But it looks like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I think, though, this time it's going to be a little bit different, because before, like, he, you know, was able... It was a different circumstance in the way that he was able to get it back last time.
No, he just had to believe in himself that he could connect to the Speed Force last time.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that this time.
Well, like... You can't truly cut off your connection to the Speed Force. It's always going to be in him. He's a meta-human.
Yeah.
Period. You can't take that away. Unless you're in Lost Girl. But anyways. So... You can't take away the fact that he has meta-human genes in him. And his genes are specific to the lightning bolt, which is specific to the Speed Force.
Yeah.
So... You can't take away...
So even though he doesn't have his powers or his speed right now, he still has it in him.
Yeah. He just has to reawaken it like he did in the first season.
Maybe Iris will help him with it this time.
By episode 20.
Maybe. Because that's where she confesses her feelings to him.
Dude, if that was, like, when he got it back, like, because of her confession to him, he'd be like... Like, he got so, like... Well, affected by that he just, like, started vibrating, and...
Since this is a spoilers channel, I can reveal spoilers, okay?
Exactly.
Like, there's pictures that have come out where they're at that same area they were in episode 15 last season.
Ooh, the kiss!
So they're going to redo that scene... Because she was wearing the exact same outfit.
Really?
The green coat and everything.
Oh.
In those pictures. So, I'm just like, oh my gosh. I need episode 20 now.
Yeah.
20 and 21.
But I don't want it to end so quickly.
Yeah, I know. Are there 23 episodes like there were in the first season?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I also saw some pictures of like them sitting out like on the steps of the West House outside, and she was like wrapped in a blanket and he had like a suit on, so it seemed like he came from like a funeral or something. I don't know what he came from.
Well, remember, he showed up at the in the era, the flash forwards that we had to the funeral. He showed up there and said, "Sorry, I'm late."
Yeah.
And he was in his tux and everything.
Yeah.
So that's probably where he was coming back from. Because Iris did get to know Laurel a little bit.
Yeah, she did.
So, I mean...
She's closer with Felicity.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's closer with Felicity. Felicity's awesome. Felicity.
But anyway, I'm really, really excited for what's going to come. So... I don't know how they're going to redo all of that, but it's going to be cool to see. Because this time it's not going to get erased.
It better not.
Well, with the way they're setting everything up, I don't think so.
Yeah, because she's finally coming to terms with her feelings and their destiny, that they have to end up together.
Well, there's some people that are saying they don't want it to just be because of destiny, that it's making her realize it. They want her to realize it on her own. But the thing is, she's always known. She just hasn't realized it.
Yeah. Okay, for all of you people who don't think that, then go back and rewatch season 1 and look at the way she looks at him.
Even like on the episode when she was all pissed at everyone because she had found out that Barry was the Flash and like Joe didn't tell her and stuff because, you know, he told Barry not to tell her.
She couldn't stay mad at Barry.
She was saying she's like, and you knew how he felt about me for God knows how long, and you didn't tell me. And he's like, wait, so are you saying that if you had known how he felt about you, you wouldn't have been with Eddie? And, you know, she didn't really answer the question.
She didn't answer. She avoided it. She used that journalism skill.
I could bring up so many examples that prove that she already felt that way about him before she even confessed it to anyone.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that don't believe she already loves Barry, I'm sorry, but she does.
Yeah, she loved him when she was banging Eddie. I mean...
There's just other things that are happening that are making her realize that maybe... you know, they are supposed to be together.
Yeah. I think maybe what was holding her back was just that, like, even though she had all these feelings for Barry, it's that he grew up with me, he's like my brother.
Yeah.
So even though maybe she felt kind of wrong for having those feelings. Yeah. And that's why she went out and found other people. I mean, I think love other people, is just you only have that one person you're meant to be with.
I think she did love Eddie. I do.
Yeah, she totally did.
You know, and he did treat her right. He was a good guy to her and everything. So she, of course she would love him. But I don't think that she loved him in the way that she loves Barry. No. It wasn't true love. No. It wasn't the type of love that is so unconditional that you would do anything for that person.
Yeah, it's not I would walk through fire for you love. It's like...
Barry would literally die for her. I mean, Eddie did. He did, and he would. But... like, I think... it's different. I think that Eddie was destined to die in that moment. So, his destiny, I mean, like, he was... there's always that someone out there. And for Eddie, it might have been Iris. But for Iris, it was not Eddie. Yeah, it was Barry.
Sometimes it just works out that way.
But I mean, too, like, that whole spark thing, like, that only happened with him and Iris. Like, even when she hovered her hand over his, like, when he was in a coma, that happened. And then, you know, when she let go, when he sped off, and she knew that it was him as the Flash. Like,
what if her kiss reawakens it? Because every time they touch, he sparks. I'm gonna go flappy because I get excited.
People are speculating that she is the key to getting his speed back.
Yeah.
So, it could happen.
Because when he was first infected with the Speed Force, she touched him and the thingy happened. What if that kind of infused her with a little bit of the Speed Force? They could
She's his lightning rod.
Well, okay. because like she's always had the jolts that went into her
Yeah.
have never come back out.
Yeah.
So they're still in her. Like, that's kind of weird to say Barry's still in her, but like, okay, she can give what's in her back to
A part
him.
of Barry is still in her, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, like, I don't know, for me it also just is like the whole other superhero iconic couple things. Like, it's just the connection. Like, every time he's had something happen, whether it's like, you know, having to fight, like, having to fight off one of the metahumans or something like that, he's always thought of her. Or, you know, after she knew he was the Flash and he was dealing with Grodd, and, you know, she's like, do it for me. I know you're stronger. You know, I know how strong you are. You can do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, every time it's always been her. And he even said, you know, like, without you, there wouldn't be the Flash.
Yeah.
And so it is destiny. Like, no matter how you look at it, it is.
Yeah.
Like, you can't deny that.
Yeah. And for all you people who don't believe in destiny, it's a TV show.
I mean,
It's a comic. You
this
write
is
it
kind
a
of a lame
way.
example, but in Back to the Future, George, you know, he's all trying to talk to Lorraine, and he's all awkward and stuff.
And
he's like,
Lorraine's hitting on her son.
yeah, and he's like, my density has brought me to you. And he meant to say destiny, but he said density.
Because he's dense.
Well, he's also kind of a nerd. That's probably why.
Yeah, but he's so clueless.
Yeah, I know. But I thought that was funny.
Yeah. So, like, that's why when you read a book and this character you want to get together with this other character, it happens a lot of the time.
But I mean, there's a
It's 'cause
reason.
it's written that way. It's destiny for
Yeah,
those characters
there's a
in that
reason
make-believe
Why
world.
all the things that have happened. Like, I think even after he confessed to her, and yeah, she was still with Eddie, I think that made her think again about, like, okay,
Are these
this is how
feelings
he
that I
feels
have
about me,
bad?
but I can't do anything about it right now because I'm with somebody else and I don't want to hurt them. So I don't think she really knew what she wanted then. I
Yeah.
think he just told her, and he's like, all right, I told her, you know, she can do with it what she wants to do with it, but now she knows.
Like, she was, like, she was torn because she loved both of them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, he's always been my brother, even though I love him in that way.
Yeah.
So that kind of won out because she had Eddie to fall back on.
So I don't think that, like, the whole destiny thing is, like, forcing her to be like, all right, I have to be with him because everything is telling me that. No, I think the fact that those things are happening is to make her realize that she really does feel the way she does.
Yeah.
I don't think that those things are like forcing her and she's not actually coming to it on her own.
Yeah.
I think she is, but those things are just kind of reinforcing it.
Yeah. It's like,
I mean, it would have happened
those
regardless.
things are saying that it's okay.
Yeah.
That
They're saying
even though he is like your brother figure, it's okay.
yeah,
'cause he's
and I
not
mean,
your brother.
They're best friends. Like, who else would you want to be with besides, like, your best friend who knows
Yeah.
you better than anyone?
Exactly. Who better to be with? Who better to fall in love with?
She knows, you know, his fears and his weaknesses and the things that drive him and the things that
The little things
know,
that he does
make
that
him
drive her
sad.
insane. She
And-
knows them.
So she's probably going to try to be there for him next episode when he's struggling because he doesn't have his speed anymore.
Yeah. She's gonna be his emotional support.
Yeah. And he's going to feel like he's less of a person because he can't do what he wants to do for people. He's just going to be this, like, the old loser Barry Allen who he was before.
Yeah, but in the
was a
preview it did show that he dressed up and went out there to fight.
Yeah.
So he's still gonna try and pretend to be the Flash even though he can't be. And I'm like, as I'm watching that, I'm sitting there going, so people aren't gonna notice him walking around town? Oh, wait, is Joe gonna drive him everywhere? Like, how's he gonna get there and people not notice that something is terribly wrong with him?
Yeah. And then the whole thing where people are always saying, well, she only likes him because he's the Flash. Because she liked the Flash.
Yeah. But it was obvious before she knew he was the Flash that she liked him.
I know that. People come up with stupid arguments.
Yeah. Besides, it's obvious that Caitlin supports their relationship.
I mean, for Iris, it wouldn't matter if he had his speed or if he didn't have his speed. Mm-hmm. He's Barry, and he'll always be Barry to her. Mm-hmm. Whether he's the Flash or not.
Yeah. It brings a new level to their relationship.
Yeah.
Something extra that she can support.
Yeah.
Which only makes things better.
Yeah. I mean, it was really nice to see, like, her side of it this episode and, like, see a lot of her in it. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. See her kind of struggle with the fact that he's a brother figure, but someone that she has feelings for. And Caitlin and Caitlin saying, it's okay.
Yeah. And having still have that kind of awkward tension going on. Because, like, you know, when she was going to leave at the beginning to go on her date,
she stood him up.
He's like, you know, you could totally tell that Barry was, like, holding in his jealousy. And
when she walked off, she had, like, this
sad... She looked so disappointed.
Sad face. She's, like, probably hoping that Barry would talk her into staying.
Yeah.
And Barry was just so understanding.
He's just like, thumbs up!
Yeah.
But, yeah. But yeah, I like that Caitlin is, like, a supporter.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. So I think that when they finally, I think that we'll find out who's behind the mask at the end of the season. And it's either going to be a good version of Hunter Zolomon, or it's going to be the daddy from another Earth. I mean, either way, it has to be from another Earth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I liked that Wally moved in and that he called Joe Dad.
He did. I freaked.
She did.
I was like this. Yeah. I got like that a few times this episode.
Yeah. Imagine what's gonna happen in episode 20 and 21, though. We're probably gonna be screaming. We're gonna, like, freak my parents out.
Yeah,
so we're gonna be like, what the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah, remember the last time, like, we freaked out?
On 115, yeah.
Yeah, we freaked out. They're like, it's TV!
My dad was all watching, and he's, like, laughing at us. Like, why are you freaking out?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I didn't do that!
And they're like, it's TV. I'm like, you don't understand!
It's like, if only it were real life, you know?
If only I was her. But the first time I freaked out was when we had that flashback at the very beginning, because unlike usual, I was here on time. So I got to see the very beginning of the show. But in that flashback we had when we found out about Hunter's father and who Hunter was, I thought that the guy I was like, wait, what's going on? It said some years ago, I thought that this might be Jay Garrick. But, like, the dude in the helmet is older. This can't be Jay Garrick. Like, the kid can't be Jay. And then the father turns and goes, Hunter, you can't see this. I'm like, I freaked. I was like, Hunter is Jay, Jay is Hunter. Oh my gosh! Like, Hunter Zolomon is Jay Garrick! And, yeah. Like, they are the same. It's not just because our Earth had a weird name malfunction. It was real, the thingy. Like, yeah, I was all, like, freaking.
Oh, I was happy for Cisco, too.
Yeah, he
and I'm glad that Wells is gonna help him.
Yeah. He's
maybe Wells will die.
Yeah, but they've already done that last
Yeah,
season.
true, they
did that last season,
did,
and
they
it
did.
wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't matter.
No. Sad to say that Wells doesn't. He still doesn't have that big of an impact right now. I mean, he's just a scientific brain.
Yeah.
They still don't have that emotional tie to him because looks like Eobard Thawne looked.
I bet
So,
Devon is freaking out.
right? I want to go watch the stream.tv right now and watch their reaction.
The biggest West Allen shipper ever.
The biggest Flash fan ever, I
Yeah, but
think.
he's a
Oh
big
my
West Allen
gosh.
fan, too. But yeah, I think the first time that I legitimately like freaked out was when Barry confessed in the first season. Like the confession scene.
Mm.
That scene was like huge for me. So I think that was like the first time that I really kind of flailed and like fangirled and was like, oh my gosh. You know?
I think my very first fangirl moment was the kiss.
Yeah, that too.
Because like I mean everything else that whole
I
season
think
building up
I
to
was
that
more
just-
emotional with the confession and I was more fangirly with the kiss. Like when the confession happened, I was more like emotional over it because I thought it was so beautiful.
Mhm.
And then the kiss, I was just like,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so do you have anything else to add about this episode?
I don't know.
I don't know neither. Well, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
So
We liked the episode.
We're dead. 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Because
or 5
he
out of
kidnapped
5.
Caitlin. We did
Yeah.
not mention that.
Yeah, he did kidnap Caitlin.
So next week,
Maybe what she said about him being a monster really got to him.
well, it did. He had a flashback of his mom.
Yeah. So that's probably why he took her.
Yeah. He chained her up to a bed, so that's gonna happen next week. I mean, he did! Did you see that?
Yes, I did. But that can be taken in so many different ways.
Yeah! I mean, some part of his evil demonic soul loves her. So he's
like
gonna...
Cole and Phoebe, for instance.
He's gonna show her.
Let's not open up that floodgate.
Open up the floodgates. I wanna see.
Well, I mean, if you're talking monster, demonic thing, yeah, Cole would be
Yeah.
a good example of that.
Okay, so can't wait to see Caitlin chained to the bed. Okay, so that's probably gonna be the highlight parts of next week. I mean, really, people, come on, you know that's what
Unless
you wanna
there's
see.
any more West Allen.
Yeah, but they're probably saving that for 20.
Yeah. 20 and 21.
Okay, so I suppose until next time,
Keep believing in the impossible.